Welcome to News Central Crossover Overnight 2026. I am Queen Celestine.
My name is Chiwete Onyema. Now tonight we guide you through the final hours of 2025, reviewing the events that shaped Nigeria, of course, and also looking ahead to what 2026 may bring. Now, from rising insecurity and political realignment to economic reforms that stirred national debate in 2025, the year has been a defining one, if you ask me. Of course, and our reporters are standing by across the country, ready with live updates as Nigerians prepare to cross into a new year with hope, reflection, and renewed expectations. Let's now begin with the major headlines, of course, that dominated Nigeria in 2025.
Yes, a year marked by security challenges, shifting political alliances, and tough economic conversations.
Absolutely, and of course, when it comes to insecurity, it remained a major concern in 2025. I'm talking about attacks on communities across religious lines.
And of course, to the renewed kidnapping of school children, once again triggering, national outrage and fear.
Now, the situation also drew international concern and attention, as a matter of fact, with U.S. President Donald Trump issuing threats and signaling targeted action against terrorist groups operating in northern Nigeria.
And all of this raises critical questions about Nigeria's security architecture as we move into 2026.
I must say that when we look back at 2026, when it comes to our insecurity setup, basically, I think this is one year that I would say that we really hit hard, really hit hard, and the president could not sleep, honestly, and I really felt for him.
Yes.
Because this year he was really tested as to, sometimes what we see most times when it comes to elections, campaigns, we can literally tell the manifesto of anybody who wants to be Nigeria's president for the last few years. They're going to talk about economy, talk about insecurity, and talk about perhaps maybe no more strikes, talk about education. But this year, it was time for our president to actually put in the work. It was beyond just, making campaign promises. It was a time for him to actually show, like people say on the street, show working, basically. And I think this was one year that tested his resolve.
Well, I would not say just, the year that tested the president, also tested we, the, citizens. Again, I have to say, moving from food into media, you hear these things from afar, you see the insecurity videos, but you don't feel it. But having to report it, having to see, appear on the news every day, it was so challenging, so heartbreaking to realize that, really Nigerians are going through this. It might not be, by my door, but it's happening to somebody out there, and of course putting our reporters in danger, having to report all this insecurity, kidnapping here and what to do, and now having President Donald Trump tweet about it. It now felt like, our home is divided and having to get someone else come in to fix what I believe we can fix. So it was a bit challenging, and I'm hoping that, 2026 will be able to work a lot.
Well, I'm hoping, because we see that the president made a few changes, in terms of this security architecture, changing the chief of staff, moving, and now former chief of defense staff is now the minister of defense. People are quite, they felt happy about that appointment, and people are really hopeful that he will do better. It's really sad because there was a time the insecurity issue in Nigeria was more or less regionalized, meaning you heard about killings, bombings in one part of the country, in the north precisely. But look at what happened from moving from northwest to northeast. It came to middle belt. And even some situations we're hearing as close as Lagos-Ibadan expressway. So it tells you that no one is really safe at the moment. So do not think that it can't get to you. So everybody has to, take it seriously. We have to start asking the right questions.
Of course, and knowing fully well that our states are bordered to, one state can have 5 states being a border, so it can always cross over. And they talked about how different states are hosting and hiding this banding. So we just hope that everything work out, and all.
All right, and the world, of course, buzzes with electric anticipation as the new year dawns, a universal ritual of hope, reflection and revelry that transcends borders and cultures. From fireworks exploding over iconic skylines to families gathering under starry skies, billions tune in while others step out to bid farewell to 2025 and embrace the promise of renewal. Now, this synchronized global countdown, driven by the International Datelines Eastward March, creates a wave of excitement rippling across time zones, much like a baton passed in an epic relay in the Olympics. Yeah. Now, this cascade of celebrations underscores humanity's shared rhythm, turning a simpler, or rather a simple calendar flip into a planetary party. Kiribati, a nation in the Pacific, was first to herald the new year, with celebrations igniting social media feeds worldwide, while others in Africa and Americas hold their breath, syncing parties and prayers to the ticking clock. Now, as of this moment in West African time, several regions linger in 2025's final hours, talking about countries like Nigeria, of course, Ghana, and other African nations are live with Afrobeat street parties and church vigils awaiting the stroke of midnight. Isn't that ironic, Queen, where, you know, people are having church vigils, people are having Afrobeats on the street? It's a mixture of everything. Where you find yourself.
It's Jesus and Obule.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Eight, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Wow. That was
quite interesting to watch, actually. It was a beautiful sight. Of course, some countries have already been into 2026. While for us in Nigeria, we're counting down. We're enjoying the last hours, or last minutes, I must say. If you just joined us, you're watching the crossover broadcast right here on News Central. And just before we bring in our studio guests, let's now go to South Africa, where we have Bongani on standby. Hello, Bongani. I think it's in good order if I say Happy New Year to you. Bongani, can you hear me clearly?
I think she's frozen. Let's just hope that these networks, get better in 2026.
Yeah, that's a very good point. We would love to have seamless broadcast.
So while we wait for Bongani to unfreeze and come back to us, Chimete, what are you hoping Nigeria to look like in 2026?
What am I hoping Nigeria to look like in 2026? I think we should be more deliberate when it comes to the people. I think we've been through a lot, like you said earlier. We've been through a lot. We've been through a lot when it comes to the economy. A lot of policies have been made right now. A lot of people are kind of tensed with what's going to happen with the whole tax reforms. We're going to talk about that eventually. But for now, let's see if we can connect with Bongani. Bongani, Happy New Year to you. All right, if you can...
And also good evening to our viewers. We are in 2026 here in South Africa, and I can safely say that people around me are so happy to be in 2026. But it has been a year that has not been so good to many, but we thank God that we are here now. But let me not speak much on this, because I have people around me who can speak about their 2025. Good evening. How has been your 2025?
It's been an amazing year. It's a roller coaster ride. It started off as a mess, but slowly things came together, and it made me realize how things can also fall into place right on time, because all of us are here today rejoicing, and despite what the year has carried for us. And beautifully for me, I had a new daughter this year, so...
That's beautiful, but you also have New Year's resolutions. What are your New Year's resolutions?
My New Year's resolutions is, now that I have a new daughter, I think I should become a better person, not for myself, but for her and the family that I'm trying to raise. And just to make sure that I keep a level head with anything, any turmoil that may transpire in the country, because as in the past years, we've noticed that things may just go out of hand, but we need to recoup and recuperate and rebuild as a nation.
Talking about regrouping as a nation, let's look at the economy. 2025, for you, how has it been?
Well, economically, 2025 has been a bit of a heavy load. But new opportunities, new technology that is transpiring in the country is actually showing me that we need to just adjust to the new wave of things, because now we are in an era of automation, AI and everything like that, because we were used to the old way of doing things, working hard, doing other things, but 2025 just told us that we need to just readjust, realign and adapt.
Thank you so much. Let me try to bring someone else. Good evening. 2025 has been a roller coaster for many. We are in 2026. How has been your own 2025?
My own 2025 wasn't a good year, 2025, because I've been facing too much difficulties in case of jobs, employment in South Africa. I was not really working, and also cost of living. We know that when you are not working, you don't have money. So now if you don't have money and things are going high, you don't even have
the lady mentioned, she said things had gone high. So in my mind, I was like, oh, so it's not only Nigeria where things got high.
Of course, it's not.
It happened
like
everywhere.
It's an international situation. I think even in America, there's that complaint too about the prices of things going up. But we have reestablished a connection with Bongani. So let's hear from her, of course, what the people of South Africa have to say.
Many have made it to 2026 with the high unemployment rate in South Africa. But also we have the positives about 2025. It's not all about the bad, but we saw the South Africa hosting the G20. And also we have our Bafana at the AFCON. So it's not only the bad, the roller coaster side of the 2025. We have also the good and the bad. But we can see that the young ones, the old, they are out just enjoying their 2026. Everyone is happy here. But if I can come back to you in the studio, Queen, how has been your 2025? And also you, Chiweta, how has been your year?
Mine has always been similar to Queen's story. We both joined New Central this year, so it's really been an interesting year for us, and I think we couldn't have asked for anything better. So I would say 2025 for me has been great. a few losses. I wouldn't even lie about that, but we still stand strong. Just like the people in South Africa, even though they've been through roller coaster, you know, you can still see the excitement. And I think that's what keeps us going as Africans. No matter what happens, we're always hopeful. We're always, you know, happy for what's to come. And I just hope that all the hopes that we have this time around will not be dashed in 2026.
Well, you're right. And I just hope that the leaders could also see that, you know, Africans are actually hopeful and praying that they do what is right, because we elected them for them to govern us and not to lead us astray. So let's hope so. Oh, I'm hearing from our director that right now we have our correspondent, Sage. I believe he's in Abuja. Sage, if you can hear us, good evening. Can you give us an update of what's happening in Abuja right now? Sage!
In the studio, Queen, I was watching the program when it just commenced, and I heard you mention something about church season and also Oblate season. Well, for us earlier in the day, but yes, indeed. Can you hear me? Hi, Queen. Can you hear me? Good evening, Chiwete.
Go ahead. We can hear you.
Please confirm if you can hear me, guys. Good evening, good evening, Queen. Good evening, Chiwete.
Yes, Sage, we can hear you very loud and clear. Go ahead.
Great. Yes, Queen, I was mentioning earlier about how I watched the beginning of the show, and you had mentioned something relating to church season and also Oblate season by this time of the night. Of course, we had witnessed the Oblate season. The Oblate season is currently happening at the Eagle Square, where there's a concert going on, a countdown concert. Right now, we're at the service the moment, and I'll just be giving you a feel of what it's looking like right now. So you can see behind me is a multitude of worshippers that are seated right now. Reverend Sam Oye is delivering the sermon, as the case may be, and of course trying to usher the entire congregation into a season and into a new year that's filled with so much prayer and so much praise to the Lord. For us right now, it's a time of prayer, it's a time of worship, it's a time of celebration, of reminiscing towards what the previous year or the year 2025 has been, and of course praying for a better 2026, and of course looking forward to a much better year ahead. That's the situation right now. Of course, I would have really loved to bring you some comments from some of these worshippers, but of course we have to let them worship, we have to let them serve God, and of course let them pray as they wait and await the new year. That's just a few minutes away. It's back to you in the studio.
Now, thank you so much, Sagir, for that update. Of course, Nigerians, they're really focused. They want to hear the word for 2026. And, let's hope that 2026 will bring us a lot of Thanksgiving. We'll come back to you before the new year and find out what's happening there. Thank you, Sagir. Wow, that was, Nigerians is, 31st night is so special. It's like after your birthday and Christmas and Easter, then, it's 31st night.
It's 31st.
Everyone's like, oh, I'm turning a new leaf. Have you written your New Year resolution?
I'm not doing that. I think I've gone past those years. I think you don't necessarily need a new year to actually change. If you want to change, just change straight up. I feel it's just you being a little bit religious when you do things like that. But it's okay. If for you it works for you, it's fine. Go ahead and do it. All right. If you want to,
please, I'm turning a new leaf.
If you're turning a new leaf, don't worry. I'm gonna keep my eyes on you and see if you really change in the year 2026.
I will change, and I have changed.
Okay.
Well, it's amazing that we're talking about 2026, and having our reporters out there. We do have a lot of religious people. Again, how we're constantly praying and hoping, and I just believe that 2026, with all the media has done in 2025. Our citizens need to wake up and not just pray, but to do the work. They need to do actions. We're not going to be doing protests today and stop tomorrow. We need to push to get what is right. And with that being said, I think we have our correspondent, Austin Azu. Austin, good evening. Can you tell us where you are and what is happening right there?
Okay, good evening, Queen. Of course, is the crossover service, and here in Asaba, the Delta State capital, all over the churches, worship centers, and including beer parlors as well. Most of the residents of the state capital are anticipating the new year, and of course, they converge to witness the crossover services across board. We are currently at St. John Bosco Catholic Church, and behind me you can see ongoing mass, and you can see worshippers coming in to receive the last blessing for the year, and thereafter the one that will take them into the new year. And of course, the year has been quite very challenging for some persons in the state. And don't forget that in Delta State, the year began with a very sad note with the tanker inferno that happened at Agbo that claimed some lives, and thereafter some political developments happened within the state, whereby you saw the movements of the governor and the former governor and some other persons into the ruling party, which is the APC. And thereafter you have other developments that occurred. But because of worth of time, we have some individuals here to share to us how the year has been like. All right, let's begin with Michael Benedict. Michael Benedict, please come forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Michael, how are you doing?
I'm good.
How's been the year 2025? What's your assessment about the year 2025?
Well, the year 2025 is will I say is bad? Will I say not really bad? But altogether, I thank God for life, for God keeping us alive till this hour, till this time that we're about to cross over to the next year, 2026. Well, we thank God. The year 2025 is somehow bad, but some places, because of the level of hardship in the country, you understand, that's why I say that the year 2025 is bad. But in other hand, you understand, as a businessman, in Nigeria, in every opportunity any opportunity you come across in Nigeria, you grab it, you understand. So the year 2025 is let me say, is not balanced, you understand. Things are just going up without coming down, but in altogether we give God the glory because He's the master plan of everything. He said in everything that we should give Him thanks. So year 2025 is a year that we'll not forget in a hurry because of what we experience, like good and bad.
Okay, Mr. Michael, okay, let's look at the year 2026. How prepared are you for the year 2026? What's your projection like? How are you seeing Nigeria to be? In terms of the policy of government, what are your assessments about them in the next year, 2025?
In the year 2026.
2026, sorry.
In the year 2026, like this TIN that is coming up, I'm just like a kind of thinking, how would the year 2026 will be like? Because this tax of a thing now, when you think of those doing petty market, like petty traders, you understand, how are they going to pay tax? Really, I don't really understand how the pattern of the tax will be like, you understand. But I hope that it will not be a thing that it will cause chaos in the country, because the way people are saying, the way when you listen to follow some handle on Twitter, you listen, this one will say that the year 2026 are going to cross over in the next hours now, you understand, that it will not be very easy based on the tax issues, the way government trying to impose tax on the citizen, like Nigerian citizens, that it will not be very easy for us. But we'll just like trying to tell them that they should take it easy on us, because we find it difficult to to relate with your fellow individual because of the level of hardship in the country. Without simply with government that they should see it the way it's supposed to, to reduce the burden on us as a citizen of the country.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, we appreciate you. All right, we are wishing you a happy new year in advance. Thank you very much. Okay, we have Pamela, and Pamela, please step forward a little to talk to us what she observed about the year 2025 and what her anticipation looks like in the year 2026. Okay, Pamela, tell us what's your assessment about the year 2025 from politics to economy and so on and so forth in Nigeria, particularly here in Delta State.
Okay, are you asking about my opinion?
Yeah, your opinion.
Okay, well, it's been as it's always been. Like it hasn't been steady, but it has just been flowing from politics. Well, I can't speak for everyone, but for me personally, I feel like, well, the movement from PDP to APC was to support the motion for the renewed hope, for more agenda. So now going towards economy, I feel like if the agendas are being worked on and going with the tax reformations, I believe it can create an impact in the society and on the economy at large.
Okay, now before I let you go, the new tax law is going to be invoked from tomorrow. How prepared are you and other persons? What's your assessment about the new tax law?
Well, based on what we've been told, that the tax, an individual will only be taxed on taxable income. And with that, it means that those of us that has registered IDs such as NIN and BVN are going to be incorporated in these tax levies. So I believe if put in the rights, if it is actually put through the right sources, we will benefit from it.
Okay, thank you very much, Pamela. We wish you the very best. Happy New Year in advance. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. All right, Yema and Queen, you quite agree with me that the respondents have given their own opinion about the year 2025 and, of course, the anticipation in the year 2026. Behind me, you can see some individuals already doing fireworks already. And, of course, this is to signal that, yes, the atmosphere is fully charged and they are ready for them to cross over to the year 2026. But the year 2026 is pregnant to so many of us, and we hope that the pregnancy will yield positive results for all Nigerians. So back to you in the studio.
That's a big prayer right there. You know, saying that 2026 is pregnant, and he hopes that it brings forth something good for everyone. But I think Nigerians are quite brave. I would say brave because with what we have seen over time in terms of the patterns of insecurity strikes, days like this, most times Christmas, most times festive period is when you see a lot of people, when you tend to have some, disasters or explosions here and there. We had some not too long ago, days ago, and somewhere that was that in Zamfara thereabout. And so one would wonder that with what we've had this year, perhaps it might just deter people from coming to church or coming out to church for a crossover service. But here we are. Look at them. Everybody's fully out. I mean, we experienced some sort of traffic coming to work today because of a lot of people who have chosen to go to church today. So these are the things that just makes Nigerians just, unique and different. With all they've gone through, they're still sticking out. They're still stepping out, going to church, with knowing fully well that, the church has become a vulnerable place for, terrorism and attacks. People are not even looking at that. They still want to hear from God. They still want to hear the theme of 2026 and just be hopeful. Well,
I want to pick up from what Pamela said in terms of, the defections from PDP and APC. It was like the major part of what happened in, 2025. And, just seeing different people moving and, people questioning what is PDP for, what does PDP stand for, and why were people moving so swiftly? And she made a point saying that, it's probably for the renewed hope agenda. So again, we're hoping that, less drama and more consistency as to how to lead the country. And let's see how it goes.
Yeah, let's see how it goes. It's quite interesting. I mean, earlier today, we, of course, the news broke out that Peter Obi has moved from the Labour Party to the ADC. So we expect things like that to happen. There's also talks about the Kano state governor also, moving from the NNPP to the APC. So it's going to be an interesting 2026. Actually, it's going to be an interesting year, 2026. All right, let's now head on now to Kogi State. Let's see what's happening there as we have Mono Balagobo on standby. Hello, Mona, and how is it? What's happening over there where you are?
Systems that in local. And this is the Central Church. Our members of the fellow church are gathered in service by the from Abuja that we have It's been a great time. We've been so exciting. I think we can actually feel the energy in this place. A lot of people are grateful to God for the year 2025. Sharing their testimony.
Wow. We seem to be having some connection issue with Mono in Kogi State. But while we wait to fix that, let's cross over back to Abuja to our correspondent, Aishat Salihu. Aishat, good evening. Can you give us an update of what's happening where you are?
If you don't say you are ready,
Evening. Thank you so much. Well, I'm right here at the Eagle Square in the Federal Capital Territory, and it promises to be a really long night for most of the residents here. I mean, Abuja residents are not really used to having to come out at night to celebrate like this, and this is once in a lifetime thing for them. Many of the people here are out here awaiting the countdown moment that is by 12 midnight. And just before you came to me, there has been lots of entertainment here. I mean, local artists have mounted on the stage right behind me to perform music, and there's been dance. Even there are lots of vendors around here for refreshment for those who are looking to buy finger food, drinks, you know, amongst others. As you can still hear behind me, there is music ongoing, and there is car racing, motorcycle racing, you know, within the vicinity that is still expected to go on. So most of the residents are here saying they are ready, you know, just to unwind and prepare ahead of the countdown for the 2026. That is basically all that is going on here at the Eagle Square in Abuja.
All right, Aisha, thank you for the update. I'd love to hear from the people around you to know exactly how they feel about 2025 and, you know, what they expect in 2026. Can that happen?
Right. I was actually many people here. They can come and, you know, address you about what they think about 2025, how the year has been for them. I have with me some people here who do not mind, and they would love to, you know, speak to you about how the year has been. Evening. My name is Nanaisha. Okay, so I have Nanaisha here with me tonight.
Well, it looks like we have lost net connection with Aisha Salihu, but we're hoping that once we can connect with her, we'll bring you an update. I like the vibe behind her, though.
Okay, I think we have another correspondent, Chiwe Ogeli. Chiwe, if you can hear us, can you tell us where you are? Okay, she's in Abia State. So, Chiwe, can you tell us what's happening in Abia State? Good evening.
I'm at the state capital, Umuahia, and currently standing on one of the major roads in Umuahia leading to Ikotebene. So right now it's completely almost deserted except for vehicles that are moving. A while ago we had so many people who were going to churches and so many places they want to stay for the crossover to happen. So for right now, people have gone to churches. We had them here waiting, but we're not connected. So they are in their churches and in other fun places where they choose to be.
Wow, that's quite interesting to see.
Yeah.
For the first time since we started this crossover broadcast, we can't see anyone beside or behind our correspondent. But like you explained to us, you told us that they're now in church. So let's see what happens by the time we've crossed over to 2026. But it's good to see that, you know, yet again, we've seen Nigerians doing their thing. Everybody's in church and probably in another place having fun, just waiting forward to getting into 2026 with the fun. But anyway, thank you so much, Chinwe, for giving us updates on Umuahia. We now move over now to Lokoja, where Mono Balagbobo is standing by.
Okay, my name is
Wow, I was about to say something funny, but me, I think the people, working with the networks also went to church.
Interesting. So that's why they're not allowed
I had to take that out.
Get it done. All right, so right now we have Bernard on Lagos Island. Bernard, good evening. Can you tell us what's happening where you are?
Good evening, Chiwete. Good evening, Queen, and Happy New Year in advance. If you can hear what's going on around me, they are now in prayer mood. I am currently in Redeemed Christian Church of God, Resurrection Parish in the Lekki area in Lagos, and as I mentioned earlier, prayer has started. As is common practice in many churches across the country, several minutes before midnight, heavy, serious prayers will commence, leading the people into the new year. And that's exactly what's happening at the moment. The prayer has started. The officiating pastor has asked the people to turn around. Now, in his sermon, he has ordered the wind of change from God to blow onto the people, and they are praying for this wind of change to fall upon them and their lives. And that's what you are witnessing at the moment. So we are outside the church main building in the premises, and this is the overflow you are looking at. And now the people are turning to the 4 cardinal points of the earth, and they are pushing out their prayers to the Lord, hoping that the new year will bring forth winds of change into their lives and their families.
All right, thank you so much, Bernard, for giving us that update. It's quite interesting. Wind of change. It sounds familiar to something that was promised to us in the year 2015, but I'm not sure if those who promised actually kept to their word. But anyway, a wind of change is something that we definitely are looking forward to in 2026. We want a lot of things to change in our country when it comes to governance, when it comes to the people actually feeling the impact of governance in Nigeria. That's one thing that I'm sure that a lot of Nigerians would see.
I think I'm excited to see everything happen at, and the fireworks. But before we continue this conversation, let's go on a quick break. When we return, we continue this. Stay tuned.
Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back. It's still the crossover broadcast right here on News Central. We're counting down to the year 2026 right here in the city of Lagos. Now, when we look back at 2025, I realized that, of course, insecurity was something that was really, really huge. It was something that was in the conversation when it comes to the things that happened to us in Nigeria. And like we said earlier, Queen, what would you say was the biggest story for you when it comes to insecurity for the year 2025?
I think, I can't isolate one particular incident. For me, it was the fact that every day people wake up and then there's kidnapping or people get burnt at home. I think the one that was mind-boggling for me was the fact that, the security left the school 30 minutes before the girls were abducted. Yeah. So, those things just happening, and it's like fireworks in your mind as to why and how and where these people coming from. People are saying, oh, they're in this state, they're not far from us. Those people are covering them and giving them food. How do we find them? So it's a situation where here hurts and then it hurts here and then it hurts here. You can't really say, oh, this one is worse, because people are going through it. Families are crying. There's a state, I'm not sure if it was Zamfara or Niger, where people had to run into the bush at night just to be safe and leave their homes. They're not able to farm. They're not able to fend for themselves. One of our reporters had to travel a long distance because from where the communities are and where civilization is really far. So it's mind-boggling to just see that these things are happening, like pockets of little insecurities, but little drops of water. It gets an ocean. So really everything, got to me, and, it's sad. But anyway, it's not about my emotions and how I feel about insecurity. It's something that's happening to Nigeria. And now we're going to have a guest with us, Mr. Cyprian Edward Ikbo, who's the Director General, Institute of Law, Research and Development of the United Nations, I believe. Good evening, Mr. Edward Ikbo, and thank you for joining us at our crossover program. I wanted to just ask you that, this year has been marked with a lot of, security challenges and, shifting political alliances and tough economic conversations. What's your take on what has happened so far in Nigeria in terms of our insecurity? Mr. Ikbo.
The situation in Nigeria has been for quite some time, not just 2025, but though it got quite complex and more complex with various of dimensions in 2025 more than ever. But I think we have these problems in 2002, and then it was suspended for some time. During I think President Obasanjo was able to tame it when the change started, the problem started, especially they have to do with the one of fundamentalist route, religious fundamentalist route. And then he emerged again in 2014, very high during the administrations of President Goodluck Jonathan. And it continues like that. And I think former President, Muhammadu Buhari, the APC government had to use it as one of their campaign tip points to host and depose the PDP-led government of Goodluck Jonathan, as if they have a solution to the problem. But at the end of it, we discovered they didn't have a solution, and that it had been more systemic and ingrained more than what political parties promise to offer. And then we have it to this time. It got worse and worse and worse. And I think right now, I think they have a solution coming by intervention of United States government. Because I trust the United States intelligence and military might and ability to solve security problems. United States and Israel has been very powerful in this kind of thing, and I believe the intervention is going to reduce the considerable level for the problems of insecurity, especially those areas that have to do with terrorism. I may not guarantee the other splinter level of insecurity like kidnapping And that's another dimension entirely, which no foreign government will be able to solve that, because that is tied to poverty and tied to passion and penchant for quick rich syndrome of the youth, and every other person who wants to be rich. Those are different dimensions of crimes, and I don't think those constitute international crimes per se. But the area of terrorism, I think the intervention of the United States government will go a long way to reduce the intensity and the complex level to a considerable level. That's my belief, because I really have a strong trust and confidence in the United States in issues like this.
Right. So, Mr. Ekpo, it's also, a lot of people have said that, the fact that the U.S. has intervened, in terms of our security issues, there's a probability that, Nigeria might lose its sovereignty. And so the question here is, do you think this is going to be continuous, or you feel like Nigeria should be able to handle their insecurity by themselves?
The people that make those comments, I've seen a lot of write-up on that and a lot of speech that complete ignorance. The bandwagons of intellectual ignoramuses, as it flows from, they don't have any knowledge of it, how the operations and the functionality of international law. And international law are emerging methods of international law for addressing new problems have evolved. To this end, I think the doctrine of extent of domestic jurisdiction is now limited by issues that fall within the ambit of what we call in international human rights law, jurisprudence and egregious principle of international law. These are evident in certain forms of human rights, that constitute peremptory norms, what we call peremptory norms of international law, and a specific act that constitute international crimes. This range from territorial principle to universality principle. That's where universality principle applies. And that's supported by international law, under the UN Charter. In respect of issue of terrorism, while states have a broad measure of discretion in matters occurring within their own territory, that discretion is limited.
Mr. Ekpo, before you continue, I want to say Happy New Year, but right now it is officially 2026 in Nigeria, and let's have a look. Wow. Happy New Year, Nigeria.
From the videos you've seen across, of course, you can tell the Nigerians across the country are super, super elated to have made it into the year 2026. So if someone hasn't told you, Happy New Year. We are in 2026. Happy New Year to you.
And of course, we have Bernard Akedi on standby. Bernard, can you give us an update of what's happening where you are? I think there's still a lot of jubilation there. While we wait on that, it is really, I'm excited.
Yeah, of course.
It's
finally,
2026.
We made it to 2026. And I think, just like we saw the footage, you know, a lot of people across different churches and different parts of the country are super, super happy. We're always this way. We're always hopeful, looking forward to a brand new year. And I'm just hoping that this time around, our hopes will not be dashed.
Well, I hope so. I hope so. First day of 2026. I hope we get all the good things that we want. And of course, back to insecurity. And I hope that, you know, it has been fixed and Nigeria is a better place for everybody. And, you know, I must say that Nigeria is a beautiful place. We could see how a lot of people are coming all the way to Nigeria for Dirty December. So meaning, you know, it's not that bad. And, you know, we just pray that our leaders can see and fix the basic things, you know, and, you know, let's see what 2026 says.
I don't know if we still have Mr. Edward Ekbo, who's, of course, the Director General Institute of Law Research and Development of United Development. Okay. We do, while we try to, of course, you know, establish a connection with him, because we must have that conversation about what we should look forward to when it comes to Nigeria and insecurity. We're also trying to see if we can reconnect with Bernard, because one of the churches, or rather one of the footages we showed you earlier was a church where he was actually. And we could see them celebrating, jubilating. And of course, this is the point where people will start to bring out or talk about the New Year resolution. Do you have any, by the way?
Well, I think for me is to, you know, chase all the things that I've written down as per dreams and aspirations. You know, when we talk about a lot of people having to do so many things, Nigeria gives you Nigeria is where you're always, everybody's like, oh, multiple streams of income. So let's see, I feel like there are a lot of ideas that I have up my sleeve as a professional chef, you know, as of course a TV host and all. Let's see what we can navigate and, you know, create something beautiful. Again, it's sad where most times when you tune in is insecurity and everything. We need to find a way to push the beauty of Nigeria out there. It's not always, you know, bad. They're bad in other countries. I'm always having something funny to say. I was about to say our issues has always been, you know, our leaders and, you know, God knows what, but we're thankful that we don't have some chaotic issues in Nigeria, and I feel like it's something we could fix. And I'm hoping that 2026 will be a beautiful year for all of us, and, you know, for us to be safe, focused, and of course for News Central to be the desired TV station of Nigeria and, you know, in diaspora. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one, actually. But I also think that, you know, like you said, the fact that we've had issues with leadership in Nigeria for quite some time. 2026 is that year. You'll be hearing a lot from your leaders. They'll be telling you making a lot of promises as against 2027. Yeah. So I think at this point in time, you need to, before you listen to anybody, take your time to look at a track record. When I say track record, what has this person done? If the person is looking for a re-election, you know, analyze what the person has done so far. If the person is looking for election for the very first time, try and look for something. You know, if the person has been probably in power in some sort. You know, I know some people who probably were governors are probably going to run for senator right now. So I think before you elect or you listen to that person's promise, it's good for you to check what they've done since they've been in power and yesteryears. You know, look out for that person and see what they've done, because this year, 2026, a lot of people make a lot of promises to us. But now that you said that, you know, we should look at the past records, have you not noticed, I can't pick, you know, pick a name top of my head where it feels like, you know, they come very promising, oh, I will do this. And then once they're elected, it's like everybody just takes a back seat. Exactly. You start to hear things like the situation. We're trying, you know. You get trying, but what I find interesting is where you hear things like, well, the problem had always started before we got there. And I'm like, that's not why we elected you here,
right? We elected you here to fix it. You can't tell us what we know already.
Yeah. And
so if you come and tell us insecurity has been there since Obasanjo's time, come on. We know that.
But that's
you said you fix it. So let's start from you fixing it as opposed to laying the blame on people who have gone.
Well, while we're, talking about everything that's happening in Nigeria, I think we have Bennett back. So Bennett, over to you.
All right, thank you guys. Happy New Year, first of all, should I say, because we officially have crossed into 2026, 1st of January. I'm still at the Resurrection Parish, Redeemed Christian Church of God in Lekki, and as you can see all around me, it's from prayers, which you saw the last time, now it's celebration mood. It's dancing and celebration, and then there were fireworks. It was initially like a war zone, but now it's celebration all around. It's celebration all around, as you can see around me. And yes, and there still are fireworks. There are those who have decided to shoot us with fireworks, and that's what we can see at the moment. So again, yes, it's celebration. People are happy that they've been able to cross into the year 2026. There have been prayers initially as to what their hopes and dreams and aspirations for the new year will be, and the prayers are over. Now we're in the new year. It's celebration and jubilation all the way through.
I was about to say something, but my MD just walked in, so Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. MD is just behind the camera right here. I'm sure we're going to have a conversation with him at some point. But Bernard, I'd have loved to hear from those around you how they feel. The fireworks have come on, everybody's excited, but what exactly are they looking forward to in the year 2026?
Second, let me move around and see if I can get some people who are interested in speaking to get what they want to say or what their hopes and dreams are like for the new year. Happy New Year. Can we have your name, please?
Blessing.
Your name is?
Blessing.
Blessing. How do you feel about getting into the new year?
Oh, so happy. I'm so happy. I don't know what more to say exactly.
Blessing, what are you expecting in 2026?
Oh, blessing or promotion, more blessing, like more good things in life, though, Sha.
Is there anything that didn't work for you that you want to work in this year? Is there something that you wanted in 2025? You didn't get it, but this year you believe you can get it. What was that thing?
Promotion in my working place. That's what I pray for.
I pray that you get that promotion. Happy New Year, Blessing. All right, Chiwete, let's see if we can get one more person. We've gotten Blessing, and let me see if I can get one more person. There's somebody I'm seeing here who's seriously dancing. Happy New Year.
Same to you.
What's your name?
My name is Destiny.
Okay, Destiny, why are you so happy at the moment?
This is New Year, new fashion.
Okay, so what are you hoping for in this new year, Destiny?
I'm hoping more long life and prosperity, money, and so forth and so forth.
All right, I wish you all the best. Okay, and let me see if I can get one more person, one last person. Okay, I can see another big dancer here. Happy New Year.
Best wishes.
What's your name, please?
My name is Rose.
Your name is?
Rose.
Okay, Rose. What's your expectation this year?
Breakthrough. By the grace of God, I'm working on getting my own store and possibly my NYSC and many positive things. Yes.
Is there anything that you wanted to have done in 2025 that you didn't accomplish and you hope it will happen this year?
Yes. So finally, I'm a graduate. Though it was not easy with the whole stress back and forth, but yes, I'm a graduate. So it was one of the things I accomplished in 2025. So I'm really grateful to God about it.
All right, then, from your mouth to God's ears, we pray that will happen for you eventually. All right, guys, coming back to you in the studio, you've heard from a couple of people. They are optimistic and hoping that 2026 will be a better year than 2025 was. Oh, just before you go, I said Happy New Year to you guys. I'd like to say Happy New Year to my wife, who's at home. Unfortunately, duty calls and I have to be here. But I'm sure she's watching, so Happy New Year to her and to my entire family. And I do hope.
Before you go, I wanted to ask, can you tell us the name of the church that you're in right now, and where is the pastor, and what is the word for 2026?
I mentioned earlier, this is Redeemed Christian Church of God, RCCG. It is the Resurrection Parish in Lekki. The pastor is inside the building, and the word for this year, for the crossover, basically, I mentioned earlier, he said it was the wind of change. The wind of change. His prayer basically was that people would experience the wind of change. The things that they didn't get in 2025, they'll get in 2026, basically. It wasn't much of a sermon. It basically was more of prayer session. He read the scripture, some parts of the scripture, and related it to wind of change, speaking about where Moses had to stretch his staff over the water and the water parted. And he was saying the same thing, that the people here in the church would give forth their word, and there will be a wind of change, and there will be some kind of change that will happen for them. Basically, that was his sermon in the church this evening, or rather this morning, as the case may be.
Bennett, for that update, and of course I wanted you to repeat yourself so that those who just tuned in could hear. So yeah, best of luck, and I wish you an amazing wind of change in 2026, and Happy New Year to you and your family, Bennett.
All right now, of course, we've heard from Bernard here in Lagos. Let's now cross over to Imo and see what's happening over there. Apologize, we cannot hear our correspondent over there in Imo, but we'll definitely try to rectify that.
Yeah.
But just in case someone has told you, Happy New Year. Welcome to the year 2026. And when we have a conversation with Bernard earlier, the lady Blessing, though, I'm just here thinking, isn't that being... Your name is Blessing. They ask you, what do you want? You say more blessing. I'm like, isn't your name enough already?
It's never enough. It is never enough, especially in Nigeria. It's never enough. And, you know, I'm happy to see a lot of jubilations, you know, in the midst of the chaos that we're in. Nigerians are hopeful. Nigerians just want to be happy. And, of course, you know, this week we're going, you know, back to business. And the people that came for Dirty December, thank you. Happy New Year. We wish you safe travels back home so that the road will be free for us to, you know, come to work and go back.
So you're chasing them
what?
already.
I'm not chasing you.
That's the way it sounds.
I'm just begging you.
Some of them still want to be here.
Work has resumed. Just, you know, go and work and come back in a few months. It's been chaotic in terms of traffic, but we appreciate, you know, the traffic and, you know, for tourism in Nigeria, having a lot of people coming to Nigeria to just enjoy our culture, our obele, the way we, you know, we entertain ourselves. Our food is so rich. It's so fascinating to see the way we celebrate, especially, you know, in festive season. So I'm super excited for 2026. I don't know.
You know, even you know, taking it from what you just said right now, as regards you know, the whole Dirty December and people coming around, and you know, the whole Lagos is more or less jam-packed and there's traffic and everywhere is so busy. I think the government should take advantage of time. Now, you know, this happens once a year. I don't think we should start to talk about repairing roads in October or December of 2026. What we should start to do is to plan now. Let's start to plan for Dirty December of 2026. If you say that you make a lot of money from Dirty December, I mean, the government is always boastful of how much is being, you know, derived from Dirty December. And trust me, with the new tax, you know, policy kickstarting today, I'm sure that the government will be more than, you know, their eyes will be on the number of, the amount of money being made for Dirty December. Now is the time for, you know, preparations to be made in terms of infrastructure. If you're going to construct a road, now is when you start thinking about it. You shouldn't wait till when it's September or October or even December, where people have started to troop into the country.
I agree with you. We have 12 months. So I feel like they should come up with a timetable. Again, I feel like it's communication with the citizens. You know, all we need is transparency. And, you know, once, you know, the road is smooth, we have constant light, we have water. Of course, every country has tax, but explain to them in a layman English, because right now on socials, everybody, this person comes up, is this how it's supposed to be, this is how it's supposed to be. So we don't really know what the tax is about. You know, Taiwo Oyedele will come out and say, this is it. Somebody on Instagram will say, this is it. Nigerians are just bantering. We should have where they explain it in detail so people can understand, because most times Nigerians are just exhausted and just get, you know, information from any source and just run with it. So that's something I feel like they need to make communications clear so Nigerians know exactly what to expect and stop, rushing up and down with situations. And then, of course, if they are able to navigate, like you said, we can't be fixing the road in December when you know that we have a lot of traffic in Nigeria. If it's something you can start fixing from January, and before December, everywhere is smooth, everybody is happy. So again, we're begging, our country and our government to consider the citizens.
It's quite interesting because the truth is, when it comes to tax now, it's something that a lot of people have been talking about. The conversations around it, people are actually, for lack of a better word, they're kind of scared and worried about this tax policy. But I think this would be a good time for perhaps tax lawyers or tax officers to take advantage of this situation and actually explain to people. I think it even creates a job opportunity for people who are into this, tax reform. If you're someone who you understand how it works, you just might be making some profit or making some money for yourself from that. And a lot of people will be consulting the tax officers.
Right. So, Chimete, let me cut you off before you continue. I think we have Austin Azu on standby. Austin, can you give us an update of what's happening over there? And Happy New Year.
In Asaba, a moment ago, this place was engulfed as soon as a resident pastor announced Happy New Year. Behind me and around me, you can hear the ambience of fireworks ongoing, celebrating the new year 2026. And of course, one can tell for free that yes, everyone is in a happy mood now because they have crossed over from 2025 to 2026. All right, let us meet Jite. Jite, Happy New Year. How are you doing? Good to see you in the year 2026. The last time we saw it was the year 2025. Yes, so tell us, how do you feel about the year 2026?
I feel great. I feel blessed. I am very, very happy to be in this new year, to meet this year. I thank God for his mercies. And I really, oh Lord, there's no words for this. There's really no words for this. I just give God all the glory. And I know this is going to be a great year for me and for you. I know, but I pray it will be a good year for you too. In Jesus' name.
All right, Jite, this is year 2026. The government has a lot for you and I. And of course, one of them is the new tax law. So how prepared are you for the new tax law?
Well, we have seen bigger things, and it won't kill us. We'll work with what we have. We'll work with what we have. We know that this law is all about less cash. Less cash. So the lesser your cash usage, the better for you. So if you do a lot of internet, online transfers and all that, you won't feel it that much, but if you do cash, the government will choke you.
Okay, one thing we want you to do for us is to set agenda for the government in the year 2026, sorry. Now, what will be your message to the government at all levels, from the local government, the state, and the federal government? What message do you have for all the governments at all levels?
In all tiers of government, there should be, I wish the government can look into employment opportunities, all right, for especially the youths. That will go a long way in curbing a lot of antisocials and corruption. So I pray this year government looks out for the citizens.
Okay, just stay here. All right, Queen and Oyeman, you can actually hear the sounds of the fireworks here in Asaba, celebrating the year 2026. And of course, you can feel and hear the sounds, and it shows that yes, everyone here is quite happy to step into the year 2026. And let us meet Emeka. Emeka, of course, you have been around, and this is year 2026. How do you see the year 2026?
Well, it's amazing what the Lord can do, because only Him can do this. There are lots of people that are better than us that were not opportune to actually see this day. So it's a privilege, and I'm very excited, very, very excited. I have experienced this day and I believe and I trust God that I will see many, many more years to come in Jesus' name. So I'm very excited and I'm happy what the Lord has done for me.
All right, let me answer this question. Every year, a lot of us set agenda, New Year resolution. What is your New Year resolution in the year 2026?
Well, the truth is, I wish to do better than I've done the previous year. I wish to get better. I wish my spiritual life to get better. I want to do better in how I manage my finances. I want to do better in business. I want to do better in my character. You understand? So it is, for me, it is getting better and doing better than I did the previous year. I think that is it.
Okay, Mr. Emeka, before I let you go, what's your plan for the new tax law in Nigeria? What plans do you have for it as a citizen?
Well, as a law-abiding citizen, the government has put up the tax law, and I think what we should do is to obedience. We'll follow suit, do what we're supposed to do. I think we don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with that, as long as I pay my tax. If I do a transaction, and it is what's debiting, taxing, I mean, they should tax. I don't have a problem with that. All I just want the government to do is, look into the agriculture sector of the country, of the Nigeria, because I'm a farmer, and I think the country will do better when we, most of us produce our food. Do you understand? So I think the government should look into all these important things. I think they are more important than even the tax. But the tax, I don't have a problem with that.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Emeka.
It's all right.
Happy New Year. Good to see you in the year 2026.
Amen.
All right.
In the year 2026.
Of course, good to see you. All right. And the year 2026 is expected that will be more stronger for the challenges ahead and the blessings as well. And of course, don't forget to wear that this is the year that we give birth to the year 2027 that we are going to usher in new leaders for Nigerians. So back to you in the studio.
All right, thank you so much, Austin, for giving us that update. I really would love to, I really want to pick up from where I think the last person you spoke to, what he said as regards how he's going to handle the tax reform. And I'm just going to say that this is not the first time, we're having, taxation in Nigeria, right? Mm-hmm. Fine, the reforms are changing, it's something new. But I think, as much as the government now has made this tax reform a big deal, everyone is talking about it, it's time for us to start to ask, after months after now, what the tax is being used for. Mm-hmm. It's time for us to start to demand. And I think it's a good time to even have this conversation as we count out to the election, because right now, if there's any year our leaders want to hear or listen to the people, would be 2026, because right now they need us to vote for them. So it's a good time for us to ask. Months into the year, we ask the question, what are you using the tax money for? The payment. Mm-hmm. You've taken the money now. What is happening? We need to start to see things work in Nigeria right now. I mean, one of the things that also affected us in the year 2025, where we saw incessant, fire outbreaks, in different places. And one thing that was the major issue was the fact that, we didn't have a good response time for the fire service. Trust me, there is a budget for this. If you check it out in Nigerian budget, there's a budget for fire service, right? But it just tells you that, somebody somewhere probably did not do his or her job. And that's why there is one tanker who is here. You have one tanker to take or to quell, a large, fire in what we saw in, on the Lagos Island. So I just think that, this is a good time. Yes, the tax reforms is something that we're all talking about. But months after that, we should start to ask the question, what is the money being used for?
Well, when you talk about money, Mazino will say, Queen, you like the calculation. Back, we're talking about the pension for the retired police officers. Okay. Again, police officers, they work 35 years. I'm not sure what their salary is, but you get to take a minimum 30,000 from them in a month. That's in 12 months, and in 35 years, that's about 12,600,000. And then they come in, 35 years after, and, they can't find the money. But you have, 19 nothing governors wanting to donate 1 billion a month. If 19 governors donate 1 billion a month, that's 19 billion. If you're going to pay 500 police officers, they're 12,600,000, if I'm correct, that's maybe 6 billion. So, if you do the calculations, you see that things are not, but that's this. I think we have another correspondent on standby. Let's go over. Happy New Year. Can you give us an update of what's happening where you are?
Yes, Happy New Year to you too. I am right at Range Chapel. Range Chapel is in a small community called Umori in Owerri North local government area. I don't know if you can see behind me. We are right inside the church, and the people are buzzing with excitement, and they are happy to usher in 2026. We're here when it's clocked 12 midnight, and the excitement was really something you would love to be here and witness it for yourself. So it's beautiful, it's nice, the people are excited, the atmosphere is turbocharged, and so happy to have seen the year 2026. The pastor of the church, Pastor Chinedu, has been busy making prophecies and praying for the congregation to have a blissful 2026.
Thank you so much, Alex. I would have asked you that I would like to talk to one of the members, but of course they're still focused in their service. We will come back to you.
We're going to Pastor to talk to us briefly. Pastor Chinedu Nadi.
Perfect.
He will be joining us in a second.
Perfect.
Nadi. Happy New Year to you, Pastor Nadi.
Happy New Year, Alex.
Okay, good. You're on to this. So how do you feel?
Oh, I feel so glad that I feel so happy. Seeing a glorious year.
Okay.
A very wonderful year that has meant for all of us.
Interesting.
I'm happy about it. Crossing into the new year is one of the greatest miracles that we have ever seen.
Interesting. Thank you so much. You heard it from the pastor's mouth. He's so excited, and of course, the congregation too is excited to have ushered in 2026, January 1. That's what today's date is.
Yes. Thank you so much, Alex. Thank you for that update. And now we're moving over to our other correspondent, Joshua Imari. Joshua, Happy New Year, and let us know where you are and what is happening over there.
Last year, I was telling you, I am currently selected particularly as you can see, they are currently dancing. It is a joyous moment here. They are currently giving thanks. Of course, the normal ceremony and the normal show that welcome to New Year. Nigerians here for the New Year. And for them, I'm sorry, maybe you're being stop you what the problem is sorry, can you come
I was hoping to talk more with Joshua Imari. I must say he's one of our amazing reporters, and this is the first time I'm seeing him smile. I want to believe 2026 came with, good news. So while we try to fix this audio, Chiwetel.
I mean, you talked about Joshua not. I think it's the first time you've seen him smile.
Yes, he's
you can't blame him. Do you know the kind of reports he had to report all through 2025? I mean, he was there, Walter, that whole clash and attack by, terrorists, and also he was there at Nnamdi Kanu's, sentencing, and he has always been reporting a lot of serious news all through the year 2025. So I'm not surprised we didn't see, his teeth up until now that we're in the year 2026. So we're hopeful that, we'll have a lot more good news in the year 2026, and probably we can see our reporters smiling, but do not forget rather that as long as things happen and break in Nigeria and across the world, we'll let you know about it here on News Central.
Well, Chiwetel, I must say I am excited for 2026. Don't ask me why.
I'm gonna do that.
I will tell you.
Okay.
So I am 7 months in media. Okay. And I am grateful that I'm in media now because I get to see in close proximity what we're facing as a country, you know, and I urge citizens again to be involved. You know, I told you when we met here that I didn't like the news because every time you read it, it was always something terrible. You know, I was always just looking for something good. What happened? So I feel like that is why we're so good in entertainment, because we use entertainment to just cover that anger from all the noise of, you know, what's happening. So I am grateful that I'm in media and seeing what's happening, and of course, you know, focusing on changing my country by speaking about it and, you know, lending my voice to my country and letting people see that, yes, Nigeria is not just all about insecurity and terrorism. I had a friend who, you know, she stays in the States, and she said someone asked her, so how do you guys dress? We're not in the.
What she expected? What he or she expected? That we wear sackcloth. You know,
so I can't wait for 2026 to bring, you know, magical things for Nigeria, evolving things. Like I am super excited, and I'm hopeful that I can see that Nigerians are ready, and I'm believing that we're ready, you know, for the change and the renewed hope, as you know, as our president is, you know, is working on. I think we have our other correspondent on standby, if I can get the name. Oh, okay. Let's move over to Uyi. Oh, now we have our correspondent, Omoni Igbalayi, on standby. Ni, Happy New Year. Can you give us an update of what's happening where you are? Oh, we seem to not, we don't have Ni at the moment. We'll get back to him. But right now, let's cross over to Chizoba Nyowe. Chizoba, Happy New Year. Can you give us an update of where you are and what's happening there?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Good
Happy New Year to you.
Welcome to J-Town. It is just the Plateau State capital. And if you can see behind me, it's quite a very, very colorful environment we have on the plateau. Behind me is the popular the Secretariat roundabout, where people and troops usually gather to express their feelings for whatever they want to speak to the public. And so it's just a setup down there to wait for the new year. And just a few minutes ago, it was New Year, it was fireworks here and there, everybody's happy. There's nothing like political parties here, there's no religious differences here, there's no ethnicity differences here, everybody is just one. Everybody is happy that it's a new year, 2026. I have somebody beside me, and she can't wait to express how she feels about the new year. Tell us your name. Lillian Victor is here to tell us what she feels about the new year. It's 2026. What's your expectation?
I really thank God for that. Just like trying.
Oh.
I'm super excited that I felt that I think like so more grace and blessings.
Thank you very much, Lillian. Happy New Year to you once again. If you have Lillian, she says she feels like crying, and that's because she can't really express herself how she feels for this new year, but she's expecting a whole lot of things in the coming year. So Lillian, thank you very much. Bye-bye. So you can see behind me, officials of the road safety corps are here. Also behind there is personnel of the Nigerian Army on the plateau, the 3 Division and Operation Enduring Peace. Those of them from the Nigerian Police Force are also okay, so you can see them very well now. Everybody is on the ground to ensure that there is maximum peace and safety while people, have fun for this new year. It's over to you back now.
All right. So thank you so much, Chizoba, for giving us that update. And I'd like to, I'd love to hear from other people, of course, in J-Town, like it's, of course, referred to most times, of course, to see how they feel about the year 2026. But thank you once again, Chizoba, for giving us that update.
I can see that a lot of people are probably shy and rushing towards, the fireworks. Chizuba, oh, I think she's out. Yeah, it's really a happy moment for 2026. I hope the way we start, we finish with the happiness.
It's very, very important. I hope the way we start is the way we finish, because sometimes when when the whole expectation is done and and everything is, what is calm, and now we get into the year, we start to see things from a different perspective. Yeah. But I like what you said earlier, where you said, the individuals, we need to understand that individuals need to get involved when it comes to governance. I think if there's one of the ways we, as citizens, enable, elections to be rigged, if at all, is because we don't even come out to be part of the voting process. If you check out people that right now, if you go about asking people if they've registered and have their voters, card and all of that, you realize that not too many people have it. Even those that have it, some have it for personal use, for other users. Right, on the day of election, you see people playing football, you see people just resting at home. They take it, charging the phone and take it as a day to go on like a holiday. It's not a holiday. We're talking about you determining what's going to happen to your country in the next 4 years. So everybody needs to be involved. Everybody needs to be involved right now. All right, we have Nee right now. Nee, Happy New Year to you.
Well, I think there's a lot of jubilation happening where Nee is, and it's a bit affecting our audio. Hopefully, we're able to get him back. Chiwate, back to what you were saying. We're talking about voters.
Being involved.
Everyone being involved to vote. I remember one of the people we interviewed, as at the time we're doing the local government elections in River State. Yeah. They asked him why he didn't vote. He said because he wanted to go get his voter's card, but it wasn't, available. Like there was a lot of issues and process, and it was like, I beg, make I go sit down. And I feel like they need to figure it out. We can't be having so much issues with voters' card. We have NIN, we have BVN, we have our passports, we have, there's so many things, and, NIN is linked to everything. Of course, that's another situation when you want to go and, renew your SIM. They say NIN service is down. These are things that I feel like we need to focus on. Let everybody we should get to a point where our voters' cards can be delivered to where we live. Our voters' card can be, accessible. We can able to go online and register and get it without any, hassle. And of course, I also believe in diaspora voting. I don't know when we'll be able to legalize that or allow people in diaspora. Other countries are doing that, because I feel like, again, if you remember, there was a time where the people in diaspora were complaining that, they contribute to the economy. And why are they not allowed to vote? Remember when they had to demolish the houses for Lagos Coastal Road and all that? So I feel like that's something, again, because they're Nigerians, whether they go far and beyond, we need them to vote and choose the leaders, that's affecting our country. But before we continue this conversation with Chiwete, because I feel like we're enjoying just having this conversation by ourselves, we have our correspondent, Biola Festus. I think she's in River State. Biola Festus, Happy New Year. You look radiant. You look radiant. Can you give us an update of what's happening right where you are?
I'm at the River State Government House, where the governor just declared open the new year. Well, in its message, he did tell his supporters and, of course, the entire Rivers people not to be swayed by what he called the sounds of war. He told them that things are not going to be achieved through noise making, but slowly and steadily that River State would achieve all our dreams. He has asked the people to remain peaceful and, of course, stay focused on the dreams and aspirations that the state would flourish with.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. Biola Festus, do you have anybody around you for us to just talk to and see how their 2025 has been and what they're expecting for 2026? We know that the governor is saying, oh, Lord, everybody should be peaceful and don't worry, everything will be fine. But let's hear from somebody. Is there anybody around you at the moment?
Where we are right now is the government house, and everybody there on a function. and they've all gone in with the governor. So maybe later in the day, we will be bringing you an update. But for now, as you know, Rivers State is a highly political state. So the year is on a political note. And as you also know, the FCT minister has been saying that the year 2026, I beg your pardon, will be a very, will be politics, intense politics will unfold. So this is the first, and as he has also said, the 1st of January 2026, he is going to start politics. So like he said, everybody should get ready for him. So let's see how that unfolds, even as we enter into the new year.
All right, thank you so much, Biola Festus, for giving us updates from Rivers State. I would say that Rivers State is one state that we always keep our eyes on because of, like she said, how political that state can be. It's quite interesting. We saw what Nyesom Wike said about him starting the politics on January 1st, just today, of course, 2026, and we look forward to what's happening. In his words, he said, it's not by saying on a mandate, that's not it. We're going to see what's going to happen. So I don't know if, does that mean, people are asking the question, does that mean he has not totally settled with the governor of the state, Fubara, or not? But anyway, time will tell for us to know exactly what's going to happen in Rivers State. But I'm sure that there will be some drama. There will definitely be some drama in the political scene in Nigeria in 2026. Some happened last year, and some will definitely continue in 2026.
Yes. And of course, thank you, Biola Festus, for joining us and giving us that update. Thank you. Now, from insecurity and, political reforms, Nigeria has really gone through, a lot of challenges, and yet it has revealed, the resilience of its people.
Absolutely.
And we're super excited for what 2026, will give us. And of course, there's public debates, and so many things has happened in 2025. And, as the media, our job is to push out the truth, to push out what's happening in Nigeria for people to see and understand the state of, of our economy, of our politics and everything. And, hopeful, that we have stronger leadership.
Yeah, and I think 2026 is one year that you need to actually be rest assured, right? And also focus on the fact that you need to get the right information, all right? Because in this year, 2026, there'll be a lot of fake news flying around. So you have to be sure that you're getting information from the right source. And one of the places you can get that is right here on News Central. We give you nothing but authentic news. So make sure that your dad is here, or your eyes are fixed on us all through the year 2026.
And of course, the task before Nigeria is clear: to turn lessons into action and hope into progress.
That's right. That's exactly what we are all about. All right, but one thing you should also know is the fact that we need to be involved. Just like Queen said earlier, we all need to be involved when it comes to moving our country forward. It's one thing to ask for the government to play their part, but it's another thing for you as a citizen to do better. You need to start to ask questions. Now, not just your governors or or the president himself. Start to get involved. Be interested in local governance, right? Know exactly what's happening in your local government. Who's your local government chairman? Who is the person involved? All right, we need to know. All these things are important for us in governance. All right, grassroots governance is something that we should be interested in at the end of the day. So place your focus on that, all right, as we count down through 2026 into 2027. All right, we hear that in the UK they've crossed over now.
No, I think they will cross over in about 10 minutes.
In about 10 minutes. Okay, so waiting for that.
Before they cross over.
Okay.
It's 2026.
Okay.
I need to breathe. We need to breathe.
Okay.
I think this is my own way of pleading and begging that we fix again the insecurity. It is challenging. It is terrifying. We have to put our reporters, out there. We saw a lot of reporters, of course, in Al Jazeera, having, bumped and all that. Families are losing siblings, husbands, wives, children. again, I think we're pleading, the media is pleading for, the government to figure it out, to fix it, to whatever that needs to be done right. And it should be done properly. And communication is key. Communication is key. And of course, basic amenities for Nigerians to feel like, okay, we did not just choose a figurehead. We choose somebody who's fighting for us. And I'm just hoping that with so much hope, I'm looking for the word for 2026. But while we're looking for the word for me, okay, let's move ahead back to Abuja to see Sagir.
Hi, Queen.
Sagir, Happy New Year.
Well, the last time that we spoke was, I think, sometime last year.
Yes, sometime last year.
Yeah. Just a few minutes ago. And Happy New Year, guys. I'm still here at the Transforming Church. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I definitely wish all of you in the studio a Happy New Year. And, of course, we're looking forward to the bountiful blessings that, of course, this year offers. For here at the Transforming Church, service is over. Many individuals have gone home. Quite a few of them are still here, pouring their hearts out to God and, of course, hoping that they'll get that much needed blessings to get a great start at the year and, of course, to run through the year with so much blessings and expectations. But then again, I'll try to see if I can speak with a few individuals to get what their expectations are this year. Hello, good morning, ma'am. Happy New Year. I'm live on News Central right now. If you just come speak with me, tell me what your 2025 was like and your expectations for the new year in 2026. Let's start with your name.
Okay, so my name is Eva Chinedu. Sorry, my voice is really gone. I'm lost in praise.
There's been a lot of praise.
I'm telling you, yes.
What was your 2025 like?
So, 2025 was more of a self-discovery, a deeper self-discovery. You know that time where you know what to do, but you don't know how to go about it. Now, somewhere mid-2025, clarity came, and it was like everything happening in 1 year. And there is no physical evidence here, but you could see that I am evolving. I have evolved to the woman I want to become, and I can't wait for manifestation and expression. And now you tell me, Ezra, my helper is there. I'm not alone. What's the limit for me? It's several manifestations, endless manifestations. So I can't wait to see me just be free and express, just knowing that Ezra is with me. There is no limit to what I will be manifesting by God's grace this year.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Glad that you found the much clarity that you needed, and I congratulate you, and I say I look forward to see you blossoming in 2026.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Well, Queen Chiwete, that's it from her. For me, I feel the same way too. Sometime in 2025, it was like everything was looking not so clearly as it should be. But of course, clarity came much later in the year. I'm saying this, I know I'm in the house of God. We cannot give anyone but God the glory. 2026, we look forward to doubling it down, doing much better, and of course, becoming more. It's back to you in the studio, guys.
Thank you so much, Sagir, for giving us the update. And we're really hoping that for those who lack clarity at this point in time, as they go in through the year 2026, things will be fixed up and they can know exactly, what they need to be doing. But thank you once again, Sagir, for giving us that update.
Thank you, Sagir.
Now, I also think one thing that I'll be looking forward to 2026 has to be the end of wars. Yes, if that can happen, I will be more than happy. And what comes to mind right now is Russia and Ukraine. Yeah. I've seen Donald Trump, try to,
peace talks and all.
Put things together. They've had several talks again and again and again. And I'm just hoping that finally this year, 2026, the war can come to an end, because it's getting to its fourth year, if I'm not mistaken. And it's really sad. Lots of people have died. Lots of money that could have been used for better things, have been involved in getting ammunition, weapons and all of that. So I just feel like I'm just hoping that this year, 2026, between the war between Russia and Ukraine comes to an end. Israel, Hamas, Gaza, conversations around that. Yeah. We don't have that we should have some high level of ceasefire.
Well, when you mention war, I think for me, my head went back to Africa in terms of, let's talk about the leaders and the elections, and then people holding power for 10,000 decades. I feel like, you know, we're evolving. Like one of the people who they interviewed today talked about, the guy in South Africa talked about how this year you have more things being, you know, taken care of by AI. We're evolving every year. We can't keep recycling the same leaders and having a different result. You can't keep doing the same thing, having different result. I feel like as a leader, you pledge to lead your people. When it's time, I think you should step down for people to do the right thing, get the right people, the people who knows what's happening at that era to take over and fix the continent. Again, with the wars and everything, sometimes it feels like, you know, loggerheads, people not understanding or coming into, you know, coming to terms. I feel like it's something, again, if they actually just sit down and talk, it's like elephants fighting and then the grass having to deal, and the grass are human beings, they're people, having people starve, you know, not being able to send, you know, aid to these people because of this crazy war. It is heartbreaking. It is devastating. And then we have to sit here and report it and have straight face. You can't cry, you can't scream, you can't do anything. But that's the reality of where we are. That's the reality of the world that we're in. And, you know, if we don't fix it, who will?
That's a very big question. If we don't fix it, who will? What that tells you is that we are only the ones who can get the job done. So, like I said earlier, we need to be involved in governance. We need to be involved in things that affect us, right? It's fine for you to sometimes feel like you want to shy away from it, right? I don't want to have conversation about anything government. I want to just, you know, do something else that will distract me. It's okay.
Right.
You can have that moment, but you have to come back because this is your reality right here. Your leaders will make decisions that would make you, I mean, look at what has happened even with the tax policy. Right now, everybody has been, you know, grumbling. Everybody has been worried since, you know, the conversations about it happened, since it was signed. And then, you know, there was this alarm that, look, what was signed is not actually what will be implemented. And people were getting worried, calling out the, you know, National Assembly to do something about it. The truth is, what that tells you is we cannot shy away from things that affect us. We cannot say it's not my business, because when you elect leaders into positions, what happens is these are the people that will make decisions that would actually determine things that will happen in our lives, in our destiny, whatever plans that you have for yourself. If the government just makes one simple policy, it can change everything. So this year is not the year to fold your arms. This is not the year for you to, you know, act like you don't care. This is the year for you to actually hold and ask your leaders and make them accountable.
Now let's dive away from the leaders and insecurity, and you know, I must ask, I know we have kind of similar schedule. How do you make it to the gym, Chiwetel? Again, I know, I think for me, I'm coming from a place of, you know, looking out for yourself, you know, in 2026. I believe that your health is very important. You know, we had a lot of our resident doctors go on strike this year because, you know, the government is not, allegedly, the government is not doing what they said they would do, and we're losing a lot of doctors, you know, to the diaspora. So how would you say people should focus on, you know, fixing their health in 2026 to be strong enough to fight?
Well, I would say people need to be intentional. Be intentional about it. Make it as important as whatever is important to you, right? Some people will tell you, oh, I cannot make it to the gym, but there's something they do every day. There's something, somebody somewhere, there's something you do every day, you know. You cannot go without doing this particular thing. So I just feel like at the end of the day, it's just you being consistent. At the end of the day, be consistent and be intentional about your
I feel like
lifestyle.
You just judged me. Instead of the gym, I go shopping. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us on the Countdown Show tonight. We say Happy New Year on behalf of News Central team. And we're moving over to the UK and we're counting down. And So we have about 19 is going to 18, 17, 16. I can't keep doing the countdown with
14,
you.
13,
what
12.
do you say?
It's 11 now. It's 10.
9.
It's 8.
7.
6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1.
Happy New Year in Scotland. And it's good night to us from the studio.
Good night.
Goodbye.
And Happy New Year once again.
Happy New Year.